Let me ask you something honest. How many hours did you spend last summer watering, deadheading, replanting, and trying to keep things alive? And at the end of it, how much did you actually get to just stand in your garden and enjoy it? Because that's the gap nobody talks about. People show you these gorgeous gardens online, these lush borders and beautiful beds, but they don't show you the work behind them. They don't show you the constant watering schedule, the deadheading every 3 days, the replanting when something dies, the trips to the nursery because the annuals you put in for color lasted 6 weeks, and now they're done. That's the trap. And if you're building a homestead, if you're managing land, if you have a life beyond your garden, that kind of high-maintenance approach is unsustainable. What you actually want, what you deserve, is a garden that works for you, not one that you work for. You want plants that bloom from June through September, that don't need constant intervention, that can handle whatever summer throws at them, and that come back every spring ready to do it all again. That's exactly what this list is. 13 perennials, true, reliable perennials, that will give you all summer bloom with the absolute minimum of maintenance. And stick around, because number 3 on this list is one of the most underappreciated plants in the American garden. And once you see what it can do, you're going to wonder why you haven't been growing it for years. We start from the top. Number 13, coneflower. If there's one plant that defines low-maintenance, long-blooming perennial gardening in North America, it's the coneflower. It starts blooming in June and goes through September. No deadheading required. In fact, leaving the spent flowers gives you those distinctive seed heads that goldfinches will feed on all winter. It's native to the American prairie, which means it's adapted to heat, drought, and tough conditions. It handles poor soil. It tolerates clay. Once it's established, and that takes one full season, it essentially takes care of itself. You get those rich purple-pink daisy-like flowers with the raised orange cone centers for month after month, and the plant spreads slowly into bigger and bigger clumps. The bees love it. The butterflies love it. And you'll love having it because it asks so little and gives so much. Number 12, daylily. Let's be completely honest about daylilies. They are almost aggressively low maintenance. Once you plant them, they spread and multiply on their own. Each flower lasts one day, hence the name. But each plant produces dozens and dozens of buds over a season that can stretch from June all the way to August, depending on variety. There are early, mid-season, and late varieties, and if you plant a combination of all 3, you can have daylilies blooming for 8 to 10 weeks, without any extra effort. They tolerate drought, heat, and poor soil conditions. They spread via their roots to fill in bare areas. They essentially eliminate the need for mulching in the areas they colonize because their dense foliage shades out weeds. For a busy homesteader who wants color without labor, daylilies are a cornerstone plant. Number 11, coreopsis. Threadleaf coreopsis specifically, this is the variety you want if you want maximum bloom for minimum work. Those bright yellow flowers appear in early June and keep going, sometimes through October, with almost no intervention. The flowers self-clean, meaning old blooms fall away on their own without deadheading. The plant forms a neat spreading mound of fine, feathery foliage that looks attractive even when not in bloom. It handles drought beautifully. It handles heat. It spreads steadily to fill space, which means less bare ground, less weeding, less work. Full sun is ideal, but it handles partial shade. It's one of the most reliable bloomers on this entire list in terms of sheer duration. Few perennials will give you more weeks of color with less effort. Number 10, salvia. The key selling point for salvia in a low-maintenance garden is the reblooming. Most plants give you one shot. Salvia, if you cut it back by about a third after the first flush of bloom fades, will come back and do it again, and if you do it a second time, it will bloom a third time. That means a salvia plant that starts blooming in June can still be going in September with minimal input from you. Those tall spikes of rich purple-blue are striking and architectural. Sewa dumi. They give structure to a border, and they complement almost every other flower color. It's drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and handles heat extremely well. If you're willing to make 2 light cuts over the course of a season, salvia will reward you with continuous bloom from early summer through fall. Number 9, black-eyed Susan. Rudbeckia fulgida. The perennial black-eyed Susan, not the annual danding, is one of the great workhorses of the summer garden. It blooms from July through September. Those bright golden yellow flowers with the dark centers are impossible to miss, and it self-seeds and spreads to fill in space on its own over time. It's native, which matters for hardiness and adaptability. It handles heat, humidity, drought, and poor soil. The seed heads that remain after the flowers fade feed birds through winter, so there's no need to cut it back in fall. In fact, it's better to leave it. The following spring, it will self-seed and you'll find new plants appearing nearby. One planting becomes a permanent, expanding colony that costs you nothing after the first year. Number 8, catmint. Catmint is the plant that makes garden designers smile because it solves so many problems at once. It's a soft, mounding plant with silver-gray aromatic foliage and waves of small lavender-blue flowers that bloom heavily in early summer, pause briefly in the heat of July, and then rebound for a second and sometimes third flush of bloom through fall. You don't have to do anything to get that rebloom, though cutting it back by half makes the second one more dramatic. It's drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, spreads gracefully to fill edges and borders, and the fragrant foliage is something you'll appreciate every time you brush against it. It softens pathways, spills beautifully over walls, and looks natural and effortless in a way that takes zero effort to achieve. Number 7. Sedum, Autumn Joy. Here's a plant that does something almost no other perennial on this list does. It gets more beautiful as summer progresses rather than fading. In June, the thick succulent foliage is emerging fresh and clean. In July, the flower buds are forming in tight flat heads of pale green. By August and September, those heads are turning pink, then rose, then deep copper red, and in October they're a rich rusty brown that holds through winter, giving you structure and texture when everything else has gone dormant. Sedum Autumn Joy stores water in its thick leaves, which means it needs almost no irrigation once established. It never needs deadheading. It grows in a neat, self-contained clump that gets a little bigger each year. For late summer and fall interest, it's essentially unmatched in the low-maintenance category. This is a good moment to pause, because I want to say something important. The plants we've covered so far are excellent. They're solid, reliable performers that belong in almost every garden. But the top 6, especially numbers 5, 4, and 3 vase, these are the plants where the payoff really escalates. These are the ones where low maintenance stops being just a nice feature and becomes almost miraculous. Number 3 in particular, and I mean this, is one I wish someone had told me about years earlier, because it changes the math on what a perennial garden can do for you. Keep watching. Number 6. Agastache. Agastache is blooming all summer royalty. From July through the first hard frost, this plant produces tall, bold spikes of flowers, usually lavender blue or orange depending on variety, that are absolutely covered in bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds at any given moment. It's drought-tolerant once established. It self-seeds to spread gently through the garden, and the aromatic foliage deters deer while attracting pollinators. On a homestead, this matters. More pollinators in your ornamental beds means more pollinators visiting your vegetable garden and fruit trees. The flowers and leaves are edible, with an anise flavor, which gives you a culinary bonus on top of the beauty. It doesn't ask for much: full sun, decent drainage, and it gives back from midsummer through fall without interruption. Number 5. Russian Sage. Russian sage is the definition of low effort, high reward. Once established, it genuinely requires nothing from you. It handles drought so well that established plants often go 6 to 8 weeks without rain in a hot summer and show zero stress. The silvery stems and soft blue lavender flower spikes that appear in midsummer and last through fall create a hazy, beautiful effect that's unique among perennials. There's nothing else that looks quite like it. Deer won't touch it. It doesn't need deadheading. It doesn't spread invasively. It just sits there in full sun and looks spectacular for 3 to 4 months, every single year, getting a bit bigger and fuller each season. Cut it back hard in early spring, that's your one job, and it comes back by July ready to do it all again. Number 4. Veronica Strum. This is one that I know a lot of you aren't growing, and I want to change that. Culver's root is a Native American wildflower that produces the most elegant, tall spikes of tiny white or pale pink flowers from midsummer through fall. The plant itself is architectural, 4 to 6 feet tall, with whorls of dark green leaves arranged in perfect symmetry around the stem. It's striking even without the flowers. With them, it's one of the most beautiful plants in the entire garden. It handles average to moist soil, full sun to part shade, and it is almost completely maintenance-free once established. No deadheading, no staking, no dividing required for many years. It's deer-resistant, it's pollinator-friendly, and it naturalizes beautifully in a meadow or prairie-style planting. This is a plant for people who want something extraordinary with minimal work. Number 3. Rudbeckia goldsturm. I want to be specific here because goldsturm is something a little different from the standard black-eyed Susan, and that difference matters enormously. Goldsturm is a selected cultivar with larger, more perfectly formed flowers, a more compact and tidy growth habit, and, this is the key, an exceptionally long bloom season that runs from late June through October in most of the country. That is 4 months of full, bright golden yellow bloom from a single planting. It spreads steadily through self-seeding and gentle root division to form colonies that fill in bare space naturally. It requires zero deadheading. The spent flowers simply give way to new buds, and it handles heat, drought, humidity, and neglect with equal grace. It works in beds, in borders, along fences, naturalized in meadow areas, in cut flower gardens. It's one of the most versatile, most reliable, and most genuinely beautiful low-maintenance perennials you can grow anywhere in the United States. If you could only plant one thing from this entire list, this would be my recommendation. 4 months of bloom, Zero fuss, comes back bigger every year. That's the formula. Number 2. Nepeta Walker's Low. Walker's Low is the catmint variety that settles every debate about catmint. It's larger than most cultivars, forming sprawling mounds 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, with an almost continuous production of lavender blue flowers from late May through September. Unlike some catmint varieties that tend to sprawl and flop, Walker's Low has a more upright, controlled habit that looks good in a formal or informal setting. It blooms, you cut it back by half. It blooms again, you cut it back. It blooms a third time. It's drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and the fragrance, that clean, herbal, almost medicinal scent, is genuinely pleasant, especially near a seating area. This is a plant that works hard for you from the moment it goes in the ground, and it gets more established and productive every year. Number 1. Coneflower and Black-Eyed Susan Mixed Native Meadow Planting. I'm putting this at number 1 not because it's a single plant, but because it's a strategy. And it's the most effective low-maintenance blooms-all-summer strategy available to any homesteader. When you plant native coneflower and rudbeckia together in a naturalistic drift, something happens that doesn't happen with individual plants in tidy rows. The system becomes self-sustaining. They self-seed into each other's gaps. They compete with weeds instead of requiring you to weed for them. Coneflower peaks in early to midsummer. Rudbeckia carries through late summer and fall. Together, you get continuous color from June through October. Birds come for the seeds, pollinators work the flowers, and your only job is to mow it back once in late winter and let it come up again in spring. This is the model. Plant something that works together, that supports itself, that gives you everything you want with almost nothing asked in return. That's the low-maintenance perennial garden at its best. Start small. Pick 3 plants from this list that match your conditions: sun, soil, moisture level, and put them in this June. Give them 1 season to establish. By next summer, you'll be standing in your garden with almost nothing to do except enjoy it, and that's exactly how it should be.